by the way.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Arcane.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. For those of you who haven't watched episode 1 of Arcane, my bad.
Well,
watch Carrier just play the Jinx instead. It's like, what? What does it mean? Here we go, guys. We're jumping out of the rift for game number 2. NONGSHIM up against T1. First one was relatively muted until about 36 minutes in. But we got there. Let's see what happens in this one. Definitely some fire lanes, especially the bottom side. I think we might see some action. Although Ghost, not necessarily known as the most aggressive of AD carry players, and by that I mean he's definitely in the bottom 5 most aggressive, if you will.
yeah.
So we'll see how he uses it. I feel like as Tristana, you definitely want to get value out of the rocket jump and trading and stuff like that.
Leona makes it a little bit tougher to do that, but if you use it as kind of a counter engage, can be very strong. And obviously it depends on summoners and how the early laning goes, etc. But it's interesting you mentioned that about Ghost, because we have seen an evolution of a lot of our top 80 carries from 2021. Like Ruler playing Ziggs, for example, earlier this season was just something we never thought we'd see, or something that we'd say. And how selfishly, or selflessly, yeah, I should say, he's been playing this season compared to last. Faker's just going for this Foxfire start.
He does it again.
It's Foxfire works really well with Electrocute, so you can trade really well with it early if your opponent's not expecting it, especially.
Effort says no ward, no cry. It's gonna go down.
700 games, we hit it.
There you go, 700 in the LCK.
Pop over here. Zeus has no idea.
Yeah, he's waiting for it. Waiting for the moment. Kana can, of course, try to engage with the body slam. Look for that play. The attack already going in. There's the flash body slam. As easy as you would like. First blood going to be handed over to Dread as he picks that up.
Very nice play here around the fact that the Jace is going to be pushing super hard in the early game. We'll get the punish off. Early kill. They have bot push here and a little bit of extra prio, but looking for the kill instead of actually turning on Drake, because it's a portal combat's going to happen in the push.
Oh boy. Nautilus almost lost some health.
Yeah.
I think he lost about 5.
Noodle fight.
Yeah.
Here doesn't have 6 yet.
Uh-oh. Zeus is in a lot of trouble because he does not have flash. Nagu is there for the execute. Dread picks up a second kill. This is, you know, kind of what we were calling for in game number 1. Just put some pressure on these lanes.
Yeah, the snowball is rolling pretty hard here for NONGSHIM. And unfortunately for Zeus, once again overextending, trying to use this Jace in its early part of the lane matchup and getting punished really hard. As Faker's going to roam wide here to get a control ward, as it looks like they want to
overall. His owner is level 6. Maybe trying to set up here against Dread. He's going to knock him into the wall. This is a Lee Sin, but oh, it's going to be denied. He has to flash out of that one.
That's part of the problem with Lee Sin into the Poppy. Really difficult to escape in moments like this. So forces his flash out. And now it's a Lee Sin who is going to really struggle to get the right kind of kick in this team fight. But still, don't underestimate the power of this cast, the power of the Emperor's Divide here in this fight. And with already the Tristana in position here, NONGSHIM 100% want to fight over this. T1 should be very careful about how they choose to engage, or if they want to fight at all. And try to cut the Gragas off before the fight happens. That's one way to approach this.
They're traveling as a squad, which I like. Nobody's really in a position to get picked off, especially against all of this pick on the side of NONGSHIM. So they will regroup with their allies. NONGSHIM in a spot here where Kana's on the flank, you know, looking for it. Hex Flash for Carrier. He's trying to frontline, looking for an engage here. He's going to find Kana in the front. They burst him 100-0, and the knockup comes in, but it's taken by the Poppy of all of them. And in the front line, Carrier going to soak up a bunch more of that damage. T1, you already got the objective. NONGSHIM looking for a little bit more. You can see Effort maybe thinking about a follow-up hook, but again, this is a Poppy. The smite is going to come down, and another charm is going to land. Faker just getting it down as Dread goes in, and maybe a little bit of frustration. He merely takes out Zeus, but not quite going to have... Oh, he's actually going to kill Faker. I take that totally back.
Look at Ghost's health here. Wants to play on
wants
Aguma.
it.
He wants it so bad, but he's not going to get it. Ooh.
Seems like he got a whiff of what might happen.
Ana is here, does not have cast, but does have flash.
Yeah, he's dead.
Body slam.
No flash. That's a free kill for Kana.
It's just so much greed in this exchange for both teams. T1 get the eye.
Gotten there. And on the back of that, NONGSHIM do have the Infernal Drake as well. Carrier tries to set this up, but a nice cask from the side of Kana means that nobody's going down. And nobody's in the bottom side, so we're just going to be trading turrets here, essentially. Carrier going to engage again. But again, it's just Kana.
The problem is that this is a, it's a pushing Tristana versus a Jinx here. As if they get a pick, I think this is 100% worth it for T1.
Kana has his flash. He did not want to use it. Finally will. And just barely is going to get out of dodge. I mean, he was really cutting it close on that one.
So at the end of the day, T1 will get an extra charge here, it looks like, but they don't get a kill. They get a flash.
Well, you say that,
well,
but Owner's right here over the wall. He's got his Hex Flash, gets on in there.
Effort?
In goes Effort. He's just going to throw his stopwatch away, maybe even his life at the end of it all. Yeah, the damage is there. That's another kill. As BDD, he's making his way in. You can tell he is just salivating at the idea of shuffling onto all three of them, but it is not going to happen. As Dread will avoid the charm here, so started off decently well for NONGSHIM, but now T1 are really having their cake and eating it too.
Well, there's a charm.
Yeah.
Carrier's got
Dread,
stuff.
yeah, he has the kick. There it is, the execution, and the action never ends.
Yeah, I want to take a back seat in this game because, like, put me in the crowd for this one. I don't know. Everything that seems like it's going to happen, every prediction that we can make in every game, we're already 3 kills now over what we had last game. But so many of these exchanges, I mean, it just doesn't end.
Owner, I mean, Dread is really fed right now. Like, he is taking names. You cannot fight into him, and Gumayusi's like, here, have me too. Goes on in, and NONGSHIM are absolutely going to eat that up.
We are a few of these errors from T1 away from this game just being like, insurmountable lead levels off the rails because you've now fed 5 kills over to Lee Sin. 5 with an assist added in there as well. He's gonna have a big item buy when he goes back. Everything that else happened on the map was feeling very happy about this. Dread has a kick potential.
Ooh, not quite able to make it happen, but the charm comes down. Dread playing with fire.
Did not have flash. Dread did not there, so would have been very scary. He takes Fakers away. So both the top push here and the mid push are abated for now. I like every time I want to make an analytical point, I'm like, please wait a second. Make sure there's not an insane fight.
The Rift Herald's available.
Oh, stupidest one you found is.
The carrier's over the wall. He's going to miss that one, but Owner does not miss. Into the wall, there's a steadfast presence, and Dread is not getting out this time, and guess who gets the kill and the shutdown? It's Gumayusi on Jinx.
And he's the one on T1's side who's holding all the coin. We're not done yet.
There we go. Nice dredge line, but Faker already got the damage done, right? He got the pick, and he will be taken out. But T1, they got that front line. They get the engage. BDD not able to shuffle anything, and Guma is just going wild. We're flashing under the turret, and they're going to take down everybody except BDD.
I'm not entirely sure how much shutdown gold there was on Guma, if any, but it all goes to the Nautilus, so his flash forward. And Owner, man, he's playing this Poppy so well.
I think Zeus knocked the Tristana out of her jump, and then Owner flashed on her with the steadfast presence. And Faker, he died, but he also died because Tristana, Ghost in this case, was staying there trying to DPS him down. And so his positioning wasn't fantastic, and T1 were immediately able to use their incredible mechanics to shut that down. So,
exactly.
You're
so far forward there to try to get those punishes as NONGSHIM that you get punished yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a 600k or 600 gold lead here for NONGSHIM.
Yeah.
As they're in a position now to farm up, right? Scale up with the Azir. But the relevance of this Tristana, who's 2-1 versus a 6-kill Jinx, who is already scaling way better, has a rapid-fire cannon for a little bit of extra range and extra pick with this composition. You're already feeling pretty good as T1 here. against a NONGSHIM that's kind of sitting back and trying to farm up the other parts of this. It's all about the engage here for NONGSHIM now.
This is a rough spot for them. I mean, it's the same position, right? Right over this wall. NONGSHIM do not have vision over the wall. They knew they were there, and FAKER and Keria together, their powers combined. I mean, we've seen it so many times here for T1. They make it happen. Really nicely done. They get this Rift Herald as well.
And Kana has to be the one who's at the front to set up these fights, right? Because especially in moments like this where Zeus actually takes away 2/3 of BDD's health bar, he can't realistically hope to Emperor's Divide and look for a fight here by himself. He needs initiation that Gragas offers you in this comp. But you always have to be aware of where FAKER is. If you don't have vision, you can't be that far up.
Kana, he's trying to make this play happen because he has a lot of help from behind. Keria just going to flash out of that one, but that's a kill into Ghost, who is quietly 3-1. Got a little bit caught in the last fight, but that is forgivable.
FAKER.
As up here on the top side, that's just going to be Kana going down. Keria and FAKER again. The two of them, I mean, it's like
we're looking for an inhibitor.
Tic-tac-toe.
We're looking for an inhibitor pre-20 minutes here. Now, on the other side of things, NONGSHIM are looking for the same, but they're not going to be able to win this trade. They're not even going to be able to get that inhibitor turret.
Yeah.
Well, they have a big wave here, but T1 can respond. No teleport here, though, for FAKER.
They're just going to cut him off. They say, yeah, we can trade this up, basically.
Yeah, you can't get out of here.
Yeah.
BDD has no teleport. And he's got his own turret, at least, to try to
They
back
know
up.
it. Jonas Strong is keeping it secret. Here we go. As Gumayusi is kind of leading the charge. Got to be a little bit careful about that. And it looks like they will get out in the end. Still a good trade at the end of the day for T1 because they
Side a little bit more freely. I think this is a huge win for T1.
Yeah, it's definitely an important point to make. And, I mean, they're going to be stacking up the Mountain Drakes. We'll see how NONGSHIM try to fight with this. Now, the fact that it's the mid inhibitor and not like the top inhibitor or something means that it's a bit closer to home, a bit closer to the objectives, I should say, for NONGSHIM, where they can push out as a team. But it might not matter if FAKER's just going to charm you once again. It is onto the Nautilus, and they spend a lot to try to get on into him. Ghost and BDD just shelling out damage into Keria.
Great
Both
heal.
supports will survive.
The heal from Gumayusi keeps him alive. Effort had to flash there, is going to get out, so support surviving as you say. But T1, having this extra bio means their position on this Drake is basically guaranteed. And if you're trying to walk into this with no vision as NONGSHIM, you're going to get charmed, you're going to get picked. FAKER comes up here to make sure they're not going to try to sneak away a Baron, make this a trade. There's no opportunity here. It's moves like this and moments like this that we've seen from T1. We've seen it from Dom1 and even KT Rolster earlier today. When you have a split objective like this, Bio isn't everything. You do have to make sure that it's not a trade, and they do exactly that. T1 still on the back foot in terms of objective control right now. But I think the biggest issue for NONGSHIM is that their AD carry is not going to be as strong as the Jinx in a few more here in the LCK because his team is playing around him and they're looking for picks over and over again.
Guma has to flash.
But what happens next?
Yeah, they will be baited into a rough spot. The cleanse is there, but you only get one cleanse as the damage finally comes through, and AHRI is so good at following up onto these engages. The AHRI-Leona combo comes through once again, and Guma, although he was the one getting dove on, he acted as bait in the end.
You have so much pick with this comp if your opponent gets greedy or overextends. It doesn't have vision of where AHRI is, where the Leona is. They're going to try to race this one down.
They know where Dread is. So Keria just going to go over the wall. He's just tracking Dread around as the Q tries to go in, and see you later, Mr. Lee Sin. So the Baron will go the way of T1, but Keria has to give his life for this one. Doesn't look like NONGSHIM will be able to follow up on this.
2 minutes left until the next Drake does spawn. NONGSHIM will try to take this opportunity at least to grab a turret, but actually with this teleport coming through, not 100% sure if they'll be able to. It is just a lone AHRI, but she'll buy some time. T1 are forcing these potential picks and controlling the map by just roaming as a 2 or 3 man unit non-stop. And Zeus is catching waves, right? He's farming up. Look at how much more silent, more map control for T1 and more fishing potential for this AHRI.
Yeah. For now, FAKER is in mid. They do want to do a little bit of a split push, as they want Zeus to do the majority of the poking, as another big Poppy ultimate comes in, and they're going to isolate Kana once again, just not able to get away from this, as they're trying to defend here on the inner turret. Maybe should have just waited at the inhibitor, because, again, there's just so many tools for T1, especially when they're ahead, they can kind of do this without getting punished. You know, just throw out ability after ability.
PDD, no flash now.
Yeah, they still have the Spirit Rush here on Faker. He's able to get into that back line, and there is the damage, but is popped away by the Tristana. Used his third charge, but the saves damage is a little bit too much. Dread is desperately trying to fight back here, but the Jinx still living. It's BDD versus Guma right now, essentially, in terms of big sustained damage, but Guma is out of mana.
Oh, the charm is nearly there.
Oh, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, he's down.
Gale Force, at the end of the day.
Faker is just vintage Faker right now in this game.
Oh, man. Kana, he's trying so hard, but he can't. Nearly takes out Faker. And it won't happen. Not yet. BDD, he's getting angry. He's going to get one, and this will open up a couple of kills, actually. Feels worth, but all the while, okay, Faker will go down as well. Mid lane is being pushed. The inhibitor did go down. As a bit of a messy one there. T1 staying for a long time.
T1 are going to give Soul Point over with this. I think that it looked for a moment like NONGSHIM, you can't continue just feeding in one by one into these charms from Faker, but he ran out of mana, right? They ran out of sustain, they ran out of health bars. Like eventually, NONGSHIM will win the war of attrition because they have their base is closer as. Okay, they're just trying to delay this. Zeus is coming over, but it's not going to work out. But now you've given over Soul Point, as I mentioned, to NONGSHIM because you stayed from 4 seasons ago. Like,
he's back
in the TV show. Like, okay, Keria.
You see, they're trying to force this. They want Dread's position to matter, and it might. They're going to catch Guma. Immediately, they burst down the Jinx as they're looking for more. Keria's going in. I don't know about that. Now they're going to get on top of Jace here as Faker's desperately trying to sort this up. T1 only get the Nautilus. NONGSHIM immediately with that flank. They're going to be able to pick up this Baron.
And this is like the 17th time in the last 2 weeks Dread has had one of these, but he pulls it off this time as Faker is going to go down. Dread has so many flank opportunities with this team. They play around his flanks, but sometimes it looks very silly when he does it. Sometimes it goes off, they lose an objective, or he can't make the flank work, or he's spotted. This time he did it very well. He executed it perfectly. He's punishing a little bit of the overextending we're seeing.
Yeah, it's happening. You talked about the Mountain Soul Point, and it was almost feeling like it wouldn't matter, right? They just take the Mountain Soul Point, and then eventually T1 just, you know, they regroup and they push and win eventually. But that's not the case now. We're going up against NONGSHIM with Baron buff, and they've got late game carries as well. They have an Azir, they have a Tristana. I mean, these are guys that can easily carry in the late game. And we're just, on the side of NONGSHIM here, we're just setting up a siege before this Mountain Drake does come in. As you mentioned, total vision control of the map right now for NONGSHIM.
And I want to highlight why that matters. Faker can't pick or fish for these charms anymore if they know where he is. Like, see how easy it is to avoid this one in this case? Like, he had such a limited range to where he could actually pull this play off. And unfortunately for him, you know, now his ult's on cooldown, looks for the charm here onto the Nautilus, and
at least he flashed it. I mean,
yeah, this is looking like guaranteed Soul Point because Soul rather, excuse me, with the Soul Point they have, and there's no counter map play.
This is a flanking Jace. I mean, this isn't necessarily what we're used to.
T1 are at least able to get those wards cleared off the top side of the map. There's no Baron to fight for or anything like that, but at least they have an angle, right, for this Leona and AHRI to maybe find some sort of backline access. Oh, he threads the needle on the Ghost.
That is a insane amount of damage. This is up against Baron buff right now. As the Steadfast Presence is there, he's going to deny the escape for effort. Who's the only one to go down so far. Owner is tracked through the jungle, and NONGSHIM say, nope, no chances taken. We are taking this to the extreme late game. We have Mountain Soul. We should have the advantage, especially with no objectives on the map.
Just can't believe.
It's definitely an issue right now. We're seeing a lot of completed builds. BDD just completing his build. I think it's a little bit cheaper compared to Faker's. Also, he has some extra kills and some extra farm, about 50 up. I liked Keria's build. He went double Kindle Gem and just has space for the wards.
No vision here, no great access for the Shock Blast because they don't know where the carries are standing. You saw that last one just didn't do anything into the shield of the Mountain Soul. Dread's angle nice.
Yeah, they don't have all the information as the cask is going to stop. Owner flashes the wall. It's not enough, and he immediately burns down. Keria as well is going to be gobbled up by the side of NONGSHIM. As the charm does come in, they take out the Gragas. Keep in mind, Guma and Faker and James, they're all still alive. That's another zap onto Dread. And T1 will not stand down. It's 4v3, though, for NONGSHIM. And the Elder's about to spawn.
They need a really nice pick, but there's just no angle. They look for Dread. He's got a res. He's got a stopwatch.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you almost got him to 1/3 health, but that's all you could do, though. NONGSHIM have so much control. I don't know if we're going to see an Elder fight here. I think they're going to try to push to end it.
I don't know if
Kana has teleport in 25.
This is going to be hard. I mean, it's 10 seconds on the last two guys from T1. They have an insane amount of wave clear as well.
They don't look for the pick. As this is it. It's all down to the Elder as we hit the 40-minute mark. Everybody's up. Faker's got teleport.
Where have I seen this before?
Couldn't be the LCK. No way.
Definitely the LCK. Yeah. Here we go. We're getting this going. We have Faker coming up on the right side. He's got that elixir pumping right now.
Super minions pushing into mid. There's a timer on this for T1.
Oh, Dread is there, and they're going to pick him. And he has his GA and the stopwatch. Can he get out of this, though? The kick onto Owner, and both junglers get extremely low. Keria in the back line. They got to get Dread here, but it's not looking good. Faker is going to be taken down by the Emperor's Divide, and the hook goes down onto Guma Yusi as well, and that's going to do it. The ace comes through, and we are going to game number 3.
Dread had such a fantastic game on the Lee Sin, always where he needed to be. His flank on the Baron was what got NONGSHIM map control for the first time. They were no longer in fear of these AHRI charms and where Keria was roaming with Faker. Once he got that pick, he was basically in full control of this game. We had a nice deny there on the Poppy Smite, pushing